the strategical part is entirely with the CFO. Ultimately, he is responsible to the top management to answer to the profit what the organization has got or what is the sales has been achieved. How really is important to function smoothly, effectively and efficiently. What is other loss? How to comply? The first speaker was focusing on technology, how the disruptive technology really plays a very important role today, and especially from CFO point of view, and leads the way to CEO. And second speaker was very specific on FTA, free trade agreements, where even he mentioned that one of his maybe clients failed to appreciate a provision in the agreement so that he lost some crores of rupees. Third speaker, banker, Satyanarayana, he was detailing about the various sources of funds and also very focused on what are the key final points required so that you get a better interest and what are the norms to be adopted. So what do you see all the three? The common compliance. The first set is regulatory compliance. Yeah, you have information technology into play. You have to comply to that particular norms which is applicable. Second, yes, I am ignorant of certain laws. That means you are not complied properly with that particular agreement. So again, compliance. Third, very specific. If you are not complying with various ratios, for example, your current ratio, your debt equity ratio, your DSR. Again, what we talk about is compliance. So the compliance, I think today is very, very important. I'm not going to focus on individual acts. I'm focusing how individual industry or company can do. Because you know very clearly, non-compliance is not an option. Correct? I think every one of you will agree today. Whether you are in HR, whether you are in maybe plant engineering, whether you are in finance, compliance in every segment is important today. Today, every company talks about today what the returns to be filed and what the tax to be filed. So like that. So in the compliance part, how we really take is very important, especially CFO. To start with, CFO's role has totally changed today. Unlike traditional or classical environment, the CFO was mainly focused on treasury management, control, capital raising and all that. But today, he is more expected to be a strategic business partner and close confidant to CFO. So, his responsibility mainly encompasses, particularly on the global economic perspective, the managing the risk. That's very important today. And top line growth, bottom line growth. He's only answerable because he's having figures. Others are producing, but the entire figures are with you. And giving information, dissemination of information to the various authorities, maybe every stakeholder, I can say, shareholder or customer or creditor, etc. So his role is entirely changed. He's always expected to be on top of the game. In terms of cricket language, he is expected to be an all-rounder. That is called the expectation because today's scenario, it is not like unlike in the earlier days. He is answerable why the profit has come down, why the sales have come down. So that means he has to coordinate with all the respective functions, especially today's scenario where the cross-border trade has tremendously increased. So he has to really fine-tune himself to the needs and see how we can play a better role in this scenario. So that is what the CFO. I can say, Mr. Satyanarayana was mentioning one point, the funds management or maybe the getting interest is not only the responsibility of CFO, but the entire management. I will say, today, the CFO is not only responsible, in fact, he is responsible only to a little extent as far as funds management is concerned. He is more responsible as a management of all functions. Because HR problem, HR laws not complied with, you are answerable. Marketing not complied with, you are answerable. Profit comes down, you are answerable. The other departments not filing return because everything you are giving a certificate as a key managerial personnel to the top management. Unless you know that something is there and something must be done, I think very difficult to sign even the report to the top management. So in a way I will say, he has to do more coordination with other functions than finance. One thing I agree with Mr. Vinit Purati, what he said, today accounting functions definitely coming based on because your tally or any other software could do very well. And only you are going to start with the figures, what is the final result. So in that scenario, if you take, he has to have that and see how the other function, like we call it as a cross-functional team member. As a member of CFT, how do you really play a role? That is more important, and that is where your entire scenario has changed today. The CFO roles, unlike in the earlier scenario, where only you are looking after the funds. I can say maybe few slides talks about how you do as a senior finance executive. Just you plan, you budget, you regulatory compliance you have to follow, credit controls, record keeping and all that. But today, the statistical part is entirely with the CFO. Because anything happens, you know pretty well. Because you got the figures, what was and what it is today and what it will be tomorrow. Because you are projecting for the next couple of years. So unless we are very strong in that area, I think definitely CFO will be a failure one unless we have information from all segments. In that, the particular topic given to me is today compliance. So the compliance part, normally what general opinion was, the crunch with numbers, CFOs. As we have been hearing various speakers, today the information is very important. The technology plays a very important role in giving information to you. How do you take the information? How do you assimilate? How do you really make projections? How you direct organization is the path, correct path is more important. So I can say is the level of taking leadership. So the entire organization, apart from crunching numbers, which is the order of the day. So is mainly specialized in accounting. Problem is today, probably any CFO before he joins, he should know something about the technical side also, in which organization he joins, he should know what is happening and what is the product. Because otherwise, he cannot question the production part or marketing part or any process part at all. So the knowledge what he gains here is not enough, but what he is going to gain in the respective organization is more important from CFO point of view today. Because ultimately, he is responsible to the top management to answer to the profit what the organization has got or what is the sales has been achieved. Generally, he is very important person from say steward point of view, or he is an operator, he is a strategist, he is also a catalyst. So everywhere he has to protect the asset and he has to function in an efficient way. Strategic decision to be taken. For example, today business model getting changed today. Whether you need leadership, distribution, where the business model is getting changed, you will take key decisions because everything is centering around funds. And finally, catalyst. So, with this, maybe 4 key points, critical roles he has to play. How really is important to function smoothly, effectively, and efficiently. Because some problem with the organization, okay, so you are not complying with some other laws, then what happens? The employees are not happy, the organization is not complying with the law, retention of manpower becomes difficult, and hefty penalty. When I talk about penalties, you will understand today, if you take the paper daily, every day there is news that penalty is being levied. Very recently, one nationalized bank was levied 1 crore rupee by the SEBI for not complying with a particular provision relating to without dressing of balance sheet and reporting of frauds. And almost all the public sectors you can see in paper levied penalty of 2 to 3 crores, 2.5 crores, 1.5 crores, even including Bharat Electricals Limited and all that. So we have heard about the story on Satyam. What happened? 7,800 crores. We know about Sahara, 20,000 crores to 3 crores people to be paid immediately because they not followed the SEBI regulations. So, on one nationalized bank to the tune of 11,000 crores because the lack of internal control, effective internal control, not complying again with the provisions of the law. So if we go like that, so whether that will be peaceful to the organization, not at all. Suppose whether you will focus on those penal provisions or the tribunal or court, or will you will do your business. In a way, only the compliance part becomes very important. The cost of non-compliance is very, very high today. For example, I can pinpoint one of the few provisions in the Companies Act to take deposits. Suppose you think it's not a deposit, but it's a deposit as per the law. Then if you go to the provision section 76A of the Companies Act, they say penalty could be levied to the maximum extent of even 10 crores. That organization can survive after paying 10 crores under maybe following section 73 or 76, etc. To take income tax simple, we are not supposed to receive cash more than 2 lakhs per day or in a specific event or a transaction. If you receive, what will happen? 100% penalty. Equal, suppose you get from 20 lakhs penalty. So likewise, penalties, there is no limit today. So that is where the compliance part becomes very important today. I think the CFO's role is very important, not only to comply with the laws regarding banks or maybe statutory act like Companies Act or Income Tax Act. According to me, the point we will have to understand here is other laws. So, what is other laws? How to comply? So, if you take India, how do you think how many laws will be there? How many legislations will be there? We have 1,267 legislation as on January 2017. May not be applicable or may not be applicable to our organization. But what is applicable? That is very important. So, what is applicable? Are we complying with the provisions of the law? Because, for example, you take Legal Metrology Act, which may be applicable to majority of the companies. Are we applying or are we filing return? Suppose not filing, again the penalty amount should have, because all the added 000, 2 3 zeros after the figure. So, this first framework, what we have to do, risk matrix. What are the real laws applicable to, like Income Tax Act? Suppose it's a corporate, say Companies Act. Suppose non-corporate, whether you are governed by Societies Act or you are governed by maybe Trust Act or whichever act, your Partnership Act. Then you see what are the laws which is really applicable to you from whether you are maybe polluting any water pollution or air pollution control, or whether you are doing any other statutory act which is applicable. So the risk matrix becomes a very, very important one for every corporate today. Unless we know that the compliance part, we may tend to be safe. For example, one new law coming in the company from 1st December 2019, effective from 1st December 2019, independent director cannot be appointed unless the independent director, proposed independent director, he files with the Ministry of Corporate Affairs his name and he should pass online test.
60% marks out.
60% marks. So, suppose we are not knowing this law, what will happen? Again, penal provisions will attract. You have penal provisions in the respective act. So the appointment of independent directors even to the unlisted public companies become mandatory today. It may not be to the private companies. So this is where you will have to be very careful in understanding what. So what to do? So for example, so many laws are happening, so many legislations coming, so many provisions. Whether we can remember everything. Complying, I can say very simply, you comply with all the laws. But how to prepare the homework? That is more important. And before coming to that, all of you will understand. The earlier concept was cost is a fact, price is a policy. Correct? This is normal thing. I have a cost of 50 rupees a product. I can price it for 75, 80 or 100. It is up to my discretion. But today entirely changed. Price is a fact, cost is a policy. So price, they say I will give you 70 rupees. You can manufacture 100 rupees, supply at 70. Or try to manufacture at 50, 60 and then supply at 70. Because that is a very clear shift from the customer's point of view today. Where you have to manage, why I price is point, you can comply with appointing technical experts and all that. But we should see our cost also. Because cost is very important because you cannot get a price beyond a level depending upon the product. So within that, because we discussed 80 to 85% of the industries today in India are MSME segment. At the same time, you cannot have an excuse that I'm an MSME, I will not file the return GST, I think you will agree, I will agree, you have to find the return. Otherwise, the medium-sized company will not give you order because he will not get the credit for the tax paid. He will not give you the order. You are an unregistered person. So you will have to really manage very well this part. So that is the reason I told you costs also to be looked into, and also you should see how to manage within my limits because I have boundaries. I cannot go beyond this. That is left to the individual units. The individual units have to design. So you can ask one question: how to do that? Because you have to have groups in your team. One will update. At least one member of the team will update whatever happening daily. Sir was mentioning about the technology. One person has to focus on technology. One person has to focus on automation. So we have to divide within our team, not appointing any extra person and again increasing the cost of the organization, and see that how best you can do. So within the available resources, that because this is a must today. We cannot have any excuse that the changes are so much happening, I'm not able to remember, I cannot do that. There is no true way. Only way is that we discussed non-compliance is not an option. Ignorance of law is no excuse. So this is where CFO's role has become very, very important. He has to have frequent meetings with the technical people, other than finance, so that what is happening there. Whether you may not be knowing some of the legislative changes. For example, you have Code on Wages Act 2019 come into play. Maybe 8 August approved, and they have published rules, and they are inviting comments up to December 2019, 1st December, which is going to replace 4 acts: Payment of Wages Act 1936, Minimum Wages Act 1948, then Payment of Bonus Act 1965, Equal Remuneration Act 1976. So unless we know the latest law, we will be following old law, which can be totally be misled to the others. So the constant updation of knowledge is the need of our today. Whatever technology will aid you, but updation, you have technology also to update your knowledge, no doubt at all. But we will have to practically go through and see that we update our knowledge. And maybe till we are in employment, probably the studies, I will say, you are studying for the exams at one stage, but you have to study a lot when you start your career. So that is what the today's trend. I think every one of you will agree, because daily we will be refreshing, daily we will be going through what are the provisions. This is a practical point I am telling you. So have one member in your team as updating, for updation. Have one member for, because I can tell you compliance, but there need to be some framework and a solution for everyone to do. Have one member in your team for technological changes or small automation level. I mean, may not be in a big level because cost, again cost. So small level automation, you can try it out. Then third, other part, maybe person will say it's a business model and all that, because this can be achieved only by team effort. One person cannot remember today, compared to the complexity of law, a number of laws getting increased. I think this is to be done, whether it's a MSME segment, or it's a corporate segment, or a big corporate segment, because invariably for everyone this is applicable. So coming to CFO's role, one survey was taken by the finance leaders. 15% agree that digitization will play very, very important role, especially data analytics, as I was mentioning the beginning. And 57% group believe that delivery of data, again, advanced analytics very important. And risk and uncertainty, this is very important today. So what is CFO's role with respect to risk? Risk is inevitable. We cannot shy away from the risk. I think every one of you will agree. Even when you go on roads, whatever could happen, because the risk of getting anything is there. But how to mitigate the risk is very important. For example, you have a currency risk, you have product risk. Some of the products would have been phased out. We have a pager earlier for a very short period of time. Today you cannot see any pager. Within a very short period, your mobile has taken over. So digital camera, conventional camera lost. So how we mitigate the risk is very important, especially the 4 risks are very important for the CFO to manage. Managing risk in the sense, managing currency, managing all kinds of risk, then managing resources, because the resources are limited. Managing relationship, managing responses, because he has to be the changes what he is getting, he has to manage. So there is managing responses also a part of the today function of CFO. So coming to the last one, stakeholder scrutiny. As a corporate governance today, we talk about is one of the key managerial personnel, and he has to ensure that there is a kind of ethics in the decision making by the management, which he has to communicate to the other stakeholders. That's very, very important. So in support of the organizational purpose, I will say stakeholder scrutiny and regulation, 71% of the people accept that. That is very important. As Swami Vivekananda quoted, everything can be sacrificed for truth, but truth can never be sacrificed for anything. So that is where today's culture, we talk about corporate governance. I think 71% say this is very, very important. Once we take a decision, there should be a kind of ethics in the decision making. So coming to quickly, because I have only 5 minutes time left. So we discussed 1248 laws. So I will touch main slides here. So compliance, what we talk about generally statutory compliance. But according to me, it is not statutory compliance alone counts. When I talk about compliance, you have a statutory regulated by the respective statutes, no doubt at all. Administrative compliance, because we have various contracts, agreements with various people like banks, insurance and all that, whether all has been fulfilled, the terms, conditions fulfilled, various agreements, etc. So that is also an administrative convenience. The last one is very important. Internal compliance. So what is internal compliance? Which is defined by the organization. What is like submission of various management information system reports or fund flow statement or your budgeting or your cost control measures taken or regional sales report, etc., etc. Unless internal compliance report is complied with properly, I doubt with external customers support will be or compliance will be proper. One good example, we have a marketing department, we have production department. For marketing, for production, marketing is the customer, correct? So unless production supplies in time, marketing cannot supply. That means internal customer satisfaction should be there internally. Suppose it doesn't happen, your external customer will not be satisfied. So like that, unless internal compliance which you frame according to the nature of industry in which you are functioning properly complied with, the external compliance part is very difficult to comply with. So the compliance framework, we have to define properly what are the compliances there, including the compliances relating to internal, which is of course your mission statement, your policy of the organization will be majorly counted. So what will happen, suppose you don't comply with, even the employees who are not, you don't provide proper facilities as per the factory side, they are dissatisfied lot. They may go up, so higher employee retention will happen, reduce legal charges, yes, you comply with all the provisions, absolutely, definitely penalty, penal provisions, what we discussed today, all will not be there, so automatically your penal provisions will not be there. Today, income tax and all, if you take, suppose you don't comply with TDS, it's a hefty penalty, not only that, your expenditure will get disallowed. So your income tax liability automatically goes up. So that's one of the things. So the competitive advantage, suppose you are a compliant company, you are a corporate governance award winner, then your reputation in the market goes up, your goodwill goes up. So the competitive advantage in the business today, I think majority foreign companies are asking this question, are you complying with all the laws, labor laws? You have to sign an agreement. So why you are asking, suppose if you are doing, maybe violating some provision, they will be caught tomorrow because you cannot supply, some legal cases will be there or court cases will be coming. So they are very particular that you comply with all the laws in the respective organization. So better public relation, they ask you, even today, like know your customer. This has become one of the parameters today, whether you are complying with all the law. Truly speaking, you can see majority agreements cover this point. There's one agreement called anti-bribery this thing. They say you have to sign when you enter into an agreement with a customer and abroad, whether anti-bribery agreement, that means you're not giving any bribes and all that. So this is where I discussed about the compliance part. This all related to compliance. I think I will have to close.
Yeah,
quickly.
yes, sir. I think
Yeah,
very
I will
good.
do that. I will not.
Sadashiv has been staring at me.
So, I have a lot of slides, but I will send it. Maybe the main point I want to change is a lot of challenges are there. I can very easily say you will have to comply. Depends upon the organization. Everyone has to plan. What are the laws applicable to us and how to go about, how to frame the framework, how to do the updation in the respective team without adding much cost. That's very important. The cost is one of the primary factors. So that this got nowhere because we don't comply, you explain. Don't comply, face penalty. Don't comply, face prosecution. Non-compliance is not an option. So this is where we are leading to. I think that is where we have to see and see that how far we comply. That's a good advantage to every one of you. So thank you very much for your patience.